So I wanted to make this video, and I will try to make it quick, but honestly, with New Girl basically reaching the season finale of season 6, and potentially, I guess at this point, we don't necessarily know. I think it's a 50-50 chance if you listen to the showrunners and all the actors and everyone who has any type of say, or at least, I guess, is in some way intangibly connected to it one way or the other, whether or not it's coming back for season 7. But I'll save my opinions for that later on. If it definitely does get canceled, then I'll be sharing my thoughts on it. I'll be basically saying goodbye to it in another video. And if it doesn't, then I'll probably make kind of a similar video, but also, like I made a video before, kind of hoping that it ends next season. And I guess there's ways that we can start seeing that. I feel like most of the people in it are probably looking for it not to go on much longer than maybe another season or two, or some kind of reunion special or whatever. I'm not going to speak for anyone. I'm not going to basically put that into anyone's mind. I don't necessarily know if that's particularly true, but you just take it how people are talking. You take their words without any real context in them. Anyway, I wanted to talk about this particular show in terms of a particular actor in this show. Jake Johnson, the guy who plays Nick in New Girl. I personally think, and I want everyone to basically go into the comment section below and share their opinions on this one way or the other, but I really do think that he is probably the next major superstar, and I'm not necessarily sure how. I don't necessarily know how they're going to be utilizing him in the upcoming Mummy remake that they're doing with Tom Cruise, where he's basically playing second fiddle, because I know they've basically been showing a lot of Tom Cruise and Russell Crowe in that, all the trailers and everything, but he actually is in that movie too. And I'm pretty sure they dropped a trailer the other day where he was actually in it, and they're starting to show him a little bit more and more and more. And anyone else who's kind of familiar with either the show or just, his face or his personality, his on-screen charisma, you probably know that he was in Jurassic World in 2015, and obviously he stole every single scene that he was in that particular movie. Honestly, I have a lot of big problems with that movie. I don't necessarily think it's that good of a movie, but at the same time, that particular character and the joke that he was in terms of what he was playing, he nailed it perfectly, and I think he was the only thing that was actually really genuinely good about that film. And I think that's saying a lot when you have a film that does as well as that did, and obviously had a huge cultural impact. But like I said, that's just my opinion. It's not probably your opinion, but I mean, like I said, anything I say here, please go down to the comment section below and share your thoughts. But personally, I'm not necessarily sure exactly where we're going to be seeing him or what he's going to be doing after the Mummy film, especially if New Girl actually gets canceled, because he is going to have a lot more time on his hands. I know he's going to be in the Netflix movie Win It All, and I think it's coming out soon. If it hasn't already come out already, I'd have to go check that, but I'm not in a position to actually check that right now. He is in the Smurfs movie. I'm not necessarily going to see that, just in my opinion. It's a voice role anyway, so I don't necessarily like it when they put actors that we know or name actors in voice roles, because not everyone has the voice. You spend most of the film going like, oh, who is that? I know who that is, but you necessarily can't pinpoint it, and it's more distracting than it is actually entertaining or sell worthy or anything like that. But when it comes to Jake Johnson, I just want to say that I really feel like he definitely does have like an on-screen charisma that a lot of people don't have, and he was actually, in my opinion, regardless of whether it ends or not, he is probably the best person on New Girl, at least my favorite character. Obviously you have a lot of great talent on that show, and that's why it really came together, and it's such a nice series. No matter how well it does in ratings or anything, it really is like a genuinely funny, interesting series. But at the same time, like I said, Jake Johnson is one of the people who is actually incredibly talented and comes off and just shines on that show, especially with so much other talent. It just says a whole lot, in my opinion. And you have other things that he's been in. I remember Let's Be Cops was somewhat funnier than I thought it would be, and at the same time a lot darker, especially with his character. Kind of a little bit too similar to Nick, in my opinion, to be its own thing, but also kind of made a really good showing from his, like, just his range and his capabilities in movies like Safety Not Guaranteed from the guy who directed Jurassic World, if you didn't know, Colin Trevorrow. And then we have, Drinking Buddies, which, if you haven't seen Drinking Buddies, please go see Drinking Buddies. It's like one of my favorite films. Came out, I guess, in 2013. If you haven't seen that movie, please go see that movie. But honestly, when it comes to Jake Johnson, I'm going to be watching exactly, not just because I want New Girl to come back, but if it doesn't, I'm going to take it as a silver lining that he's going to have his free time in order to go and become more of a movie star. Because I really think that he's ready. He's kind of proven himself with this show, and I feel like he needs to take that next step. And honestly, I've already kind of shared my thoughts and opinions about this going into, this particular year. I am looking forward to The Mummy, but one of the reasons I'm really looking forward to The Mummy is I want to see how Jake Johnson actually, I guess, takes the role that they give him and how he kind of comes off on the film when he's paired up against people like, Tom Cruise and Russell Crowe, some of the most name actors that you can think of, and how he kind of plays off of them, and whether or not we actually see one of those Jurassic World situations where he's actually stealing like almost every single scene he's in. Because I feel like a lot of people, regardless of whether that movie does really well or really bad, I think a lot of people are going to start taking that away, that he is some kind of on-screen talent that we need to start taking, actually looking more into and taking more seriously. And then maybe, just starting here and there. We don't necessarily know whether it's going to be action-based or just comedic-based, but he has the timing, he has the charisma, and, it wouldn't take him much to become an action star either. So I'm really kind of sitting there. This is my prediction video, guys. This is my prediction video. Silver lining if New Girl actually does get canceled this year and we don't get any more of it. If it does, then the final was really good. I feel like it is a pretty awesome final, and hopefully it kind of leads to someone like Jake Johnson becoming the next big superstar. But like I said, please make sure to share that in the comment section below. What are your thoughts on this? Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, share to all your friends who might enjoy this, want to talk about this or anything else. And I'm going to catch you all in the next video. Bye.